Really? Now you want to get off the desk? Is that how this is going to be? That's chocolate, mate. You can't have that. First of all, before we start, this is Ratbag. Ratbag is new, and Ratbag is exploring my desk for the first time, and just generally making a nuisance of herself. All right, fuck off. You've been climbing up my leg for the last half an hour. No? Changed your mind? What are you doing? So she's going to be in and out of this vlog because she does what she wants. She's a cat. Hi, I'm Kat, and I'm in the middle of 4 books right now. I'm also on holiday, so it doesn't really matter if I fuck up my sleeping pattern like monumentally. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and see how many of these books I can finish in 24 hours. I don't know how this is going to go. We're also going to see if I can write at least 2,500 words of my first draft. If not, 5,000. I don't know how that's going to go. We are also going to try and entertain the madam. And we'll see how that goes too. Sneezing in my face, that's great, thank you. So, the books. This is the 3rd in the Diviners series. This is Before the Devil Breaks You. I have listened to the first 70% of this on audiobook, and then my Spotify ran out of listening hours. So I'm going to finish this in physical form. Yeah, these are books. You know what books are, you've tried to eat them before. I'm really enjoying this. It's very, very similar to the first 2 books, but we're at the like climactic moment now where people are starting to realise things and people are actually starting to share information, and the mystery is coming to fruition. If you pull that bookmark out, we're going to have problems, mate. It is a supernatural murder mystery situation set in the 1920s. I can't say much more than that because it is the 3rd book in a 4-book series, but I'm enjoying it so far. And if you're interested in picking them up, I will say that the quality of book is pretty consistent throughout the series so far. So if you like the first one, I think it's fairly certain that you'll enjoy the rest of them. Then we have The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik. This is to finish off my reread of the Scholomance series. I had read the first and the second ones before, and I'm finally getting around to reading the 3rd one. I think I stopped before because the 3rd one does not take place in the Scholomance, because it's not really a spoiler. They do graduate, and it's just kind of non-stop action, which is why I love this series. I came to the realization the other day that these are basically, like, they're YA, but they are also the best parts of Harry Potter and the Mortal Instruments done well with, so far as I know, not a problematic author. So that's always a good thing. Have I had a more chaotic introduction to a vlog? No, I don't think I have. Those are your claws, and that is my flesh. I'm excited to finally get this one done. I want to say nearly 75% of the way through, roughly, so I'm hoping to finish this off too. I will say with these 2, very dense. They don't look that big, but they are taking me forever to read. Now this is the tricky one that I think I'm going to struggle with. This is Persepolis. This is a graphic novel, memoir, anthology situation. And while it is very good, it is also very dark because it is a true life story about living in Iran and growing up in war, in a war zone pretty much. And while the art style looks like it could be quite childish, it's quite hard-hitting, it's quite disturbing, and it's only that because it's real life and you know that these things happened. So while I'm enjoying this, I can't read loads and loads of it in one go, so I'm thinking this is going to be the thing that I might not finish. I'm not even halfway through yet. I'm going to have to sprinkle a couple of bits of this here and there in order to keep things palatable. And then I finally have The Library at Mount Char. I started reading the ebook of this on Everand, but the way that it was laid out just really wasn't working for me and I wasn't vibing with the ebook, so I picked up this secondhand. It is bizarre. I'm not really sure I could explain what this is about. A group of children in a fantastical library, but is also set in America, and their librarian, who seems like an abusive dad, has gone missing and they're trying to find him. Lots of trigger warnings in this. Yeah, it's one of those books that I don't think I'm fully going to understand it until I finish my second reread of it. So I'm consuming it. I'm sort of enjoying it. I'm enjoying the suspense and the tension. I'm enjoying the characters and the way that they are acting and the things that they are saying. But this is also quite dark. In fact, all of these are quite dark, really, which might be why it's taking me so long to read them. But I want to finish. I want to clear my TBR a little bit. Let's see how many of these I can get through. writing wise, this is my writing tracker. You can't really see that well, but this is my writing tracker. Basically, it's a bunch of grids in rainbow order. Each one of those is 500 words. I have done the first 5,000. I've done all the way up to 70k. I don't think I'm going to get all the way up to 70k. Like, that's not a goal. That's just like I have space to fill it out. But I have not written today, and I did not do any writing yesterday, so I need to crack on and do a little bit of that. So it is currently 8 minutes to 9 in the evening. Like I said, I'm on holiday. I can stay up as late as I want. I'm anticipating having like a series of short naps rather than going to sleep properly, but I also quite like my sleep, so there's no promises there. And I also need to exercise, and I need to do some other odd jobs as well, so you're probably going to see some of that, and there will of course be kitten content because she is an indoor cat, so she's not going anywhere. Things should calm down once she's either pooped or peed or done whatever it is that she needs to do, and then she'll go to sleep and things will be fine. Don't know which book I'm going to start with, but you will know in the next clip. I'll see you then. Right, so the book that we are starting with is going to be The Golden Enclaves, just because that is what I am most excited to be reading right now. And I was about to say so close to the end. It feels like I'm so close to the end. We've had like the first big reveal, and I'm just really excited to keep reading it. So I feel like this is going to be the easiest one to like get a bit of a win. So we'll see. This counts as reading, right? For anyone who wants more cat details, her full name is Ratbag Kraken. We call her Ratty because that's a mouthful. She is 9.5 weeks old. She had her first vet visit yesterday. She screams when she shits. And she has no concept of danger. It is 6 minutes past 11, and I have finished the first book. I didn't cry, but I won't say I didn't think about it. There was a point where I was just like full body chills in that last scene. If you've read it, you know which scene I mean. This is almost a 5-star series. The second book is only a 4-star for me just because it got a bit weak around the middle. But that book, oh my god, it just doesn't stop. Like, the stakes and the tension are so high throughout the whole book. It's just a consistent then this, then this, then this, and then we got to do this, and oh shit, now we got to do that, and now we got to do this, and they're zipping all over the world, and it's so good. If you have not ever tried A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, please take this as your sign to start, because it's just such a good series. And like, even if you're not into YA, please pick it up, because I'm not into YA and I feel like this about it. In case you don't know what it's about, A Deadly Education focuses on the Scholomance, which is a school for wizards, essentially. And it is a school that is all on its own in the void, specially built for these wizards, because the monsters, the demons, the Maleficaria of the world will hunt down young wizards to get at their mana, their power. And so they keep them hidden away in this school to keep them safe, to learn. And the school is kind of sentient. It runs on huge machinery, and there is a process, but the process is broken. And because of the nature of the school and how things work, Maleficaria slip in through the cracks and they hunt down the children. So it is a very, very dangerous school to live in. We follow Elle, short for Galadriel, who is prophesied basically to be a dark queen, to be one of the wizards that uses essentially blood magic, and she is prophesied to destroy the world. So she is desperately trying not to be this prophesied dark queen. So she's sticking it out alone. She is, I'm not going to say she's not a likable protagonist, because I really like her. She's just not a friendly one. She's got a lot of anger, she's got a lot of trauma, and she's got a lot of preconceived notions about how the world works. And this whole series just picks apart everything she knows. And there are such strong themes of classism and ego and survival. And what will you do in order to get through those graduation doors, in order to survive the fight at the end of every year? The world building in this series is so complex and just mind-boggling, and it's the sort of easy writing where you can just be swept up and not necessarily have to think very hard about it, because Naomi Novik will drop in the bits of lore when you need to know them, and she will whack you over the head with twists, and she will drop fucking massive knowledge bombs that just kind of send you reeling. And just the scale of this plot and the amount that she manages to cover in 3 books, I'm just kind of in awe. This is definitely shot to the top of my best series ever list. I'm just so impressed. This is a cracking start to this vlog. Well, now I've woken up the cat. She was happily being a little puddle of sleepy kitten in the tower behind me. So I think I'm going to take a little break from reading. I'm going to see if I can do some writing. I'm going to get a snack, maybe get a drink. No, that is my leg. That is not for scritching. Yeah, a little break away from the reading. I need to process this book. And I think we're going to tackle some writing. So I'm going to pop a Pomodoro timer up on the TV, I think, and do at least half an hour. We'll see how we get on. But yeah, I think my brain could use a little break. That was an intense first 2 hours. So I wouldn't usually sit at my big desktop to write, because in my head writing is like a laptop on the sofa situation. But Ratty is currently going absolutely mental on the sofa, and she gets really overstimulated by keyboard clacking, as I found out the other day, and will try to attack my fingers on the keyboard. So we're avoiding that, but also I feel like I'm going to be spending a lot of the next 24 hours on the sofa, and I think it would be a good thing to have some away from sofa time. So I'm going to be a big girl and do some writing on my big, lovely computer, where I can get writing and tracker and Pomodoro thing all on the same screen, and I will be fine. And I'm hoping it will take longer than about 3 seconds. Nope, here she comes. Ow! She claws away at my leg, and I'm only wearing leggings. Stop it. Stop it. I was informed that it was the teenage years that were going to be entertaining. 'Tis the kitten years as well. If you were thinking about getting a kitten, it'll be fine. I just feel sorry for George, who's trying to get some sleep. It's currently 23:38. I had a bit of a TikTok break. His breaks are good. Now she's... What you doing? Mate, what are you doing? She's worked out how to go behind my... Anyway, no, I'm procrastinating. That's what I'm doing. I am a grown-ass adult who can work through the distractions of a hyperactive kitten. I am aiming for at least 500 words, 1,000 if I can stretch that far. Oh, now you're just making your own additions to my manuscript. Thank you, kitten. No, thank you. I don't love that she's worked out how to get onto my desk, and I don't really know what to do about it. So if you've got any suggestions, please put them in the comments below. It might be a problem. Yes, 5,000 or 1,000 words. 5,000. 5,000 would be amazing. 500 or 1,000 words is the goal here today. I will tell you in a second how far I got. 1:25 in the morning, I finally got Ratty to calm the fuck down and go to sleep, but not before she completely overstimulated me by shredding up my legs just over and over again. Very seriously, if anyone has any recommendations or suggestions for getting her to stop doing that, because I don't wear a lot of denim. I wear a lot of just cotton leggings. Fucking hurts. I hit the 6,000 word mark. I didn't write 1,000 words, I wrote 982. But I got to the 6,000 word mark, so I'm happy. That is more than I thought I would. I had to have some toast as a bit of a pick me up because it's getting quite late. I am going to go to bed in a minute. But I think that is a pretty good start. Finishing a book, hitting 6K, tiring the little devil out. I do love her. I do. But I've been the one that's been home with her since she's been home. And she's just been shredding me up, and I'm getting a little bit bored of it now. So I'll be very happy when that phase is over. But yes, I love her to bits. She's so cute, but also it fucking hurts. I'm going to bed now. I am not going to set an alarm because I think that's probably a bad idea, but I'm getting quite grumpy, so I'm just going to go have a full night's sleep, see what that looks like in a room where she can't get to me. Joyful. Right, I will see you in the next clip. I had a think and remembered that cats don't like citrusy smells, and I have a very citrusy perfume, so I sprayed that all over my legs this morning, hoping it would make a difference, and it only took her 3 attempts to decide that she could manage the smell and get past that, and now she's... Hello, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. Hang on, you are my time device. No, they're here. 9:30. It is 9:30 in the morning. I have just woken up. Yeah, we're okay. I think plans for today, I want to read some Persepolis. I want to make a dent in that because it's not the one I'm least far through, if that makes sense. That's Library at Mount Char, but it's the one that is the biggest obstacle in my head. So if we can chip away a little bit at that, that'd be amazing. If she is going to be a menace all day, we might leave the house and do some reading/writing somewhere else in the world, because being clawed to death is very overstimulating. Big yawn. Yeah, big yawn. Yeah, I could use a little break. So might go out, might go for a run. I definitely want to get at least 2,000 words written today, which I could probably do in 2 sessions. And in the past, that has been kind of my limit, like words per day wise, because writing makes me quite tired and I run out of steam. And sometimes the Pomodoro method helps, and sometimes I think it makes me write less because I know how much time I've got left. But as much as I like making plans, I also like changing them last minute. So let's make some breakfast because I'm starving. And then I'll decide what I'm going to do first. And I have to double check if that is last night's food or if George fed her this morning, because we don't need a fat cat on our hands. I was gonna make myself a little yogurt bowl, but we have no yogurt. So I might go the whole hog and cook some like sausages and hash browns because we have leftover beans in the fridge. I don't normally do a cooked breakfast, but I am on holiday, so let's treat myself. I've got 20 minutes while they cook, so I might see how many words I can get down in 20 minutes. We'll see. So I managed to write about 250 words, which I think is pretty good given that there was a kitten all over my desk the entire time. But food is ready, so let's go plate it up. Right, it is 10:37, so more of the morning has gone than I anticipated, but we're going to try and make a move on Persepolis. This is how far in I am. It's about 340 pages. I am currently on page 139. I think if I can get to page 200, I will consider this reading session a success. Let's go. So I finished Persepolis. It is currently 11:56. That's not bad. I thought it might be later than that. I currently have Lap Cat, and she has been there for most of the time. Oh, you're purring now. I will say that the beginning of Persepolis is a lot darker than the rest of the book. That's why I was struggling in the beginning, because obviously it talks about Iran at war and living in a war-torn country and the difficulties of having dictators in power and the misogynistic regime, among other things. I am by no means an expert on the topic, but it covers a lot of difficult issues. The story's told in two parts because it's the story of her childhood and the story of her return to Tehran. The first half is pretty brutal. The second half is sort of her teenage years and growing up in Austria when her parents sent her away to get away from what was happening. That was more light-hearted. That was more just sort of coming of age kind of thing. So it wasn't quite as dark, but still definitely themes of like suicide and poor mental health and drug addiction and things like that. So I think overall, great book. I understand why it's so popular, why it's got such great reviews and why people think so highly of it. It's not something I normally read, so I'm glad I took a little step out of my comfort zone. I think it's also the second non-fiction book I've read this year. I've been reading a lot of fiction this year and not a lot of non-fiction. But this was a good choice and I'm glad I read it. I'm impressed I finished it as well. I was only trying to read like 50 odd pages and I ended up reading about 150. So nice. I'm stuck on the sofa because there is a cat on me. So I'm probably going to have a little brain break and I'll catch up with you when I've decided what I'm doing next. It is 18 minutes past 12 and I am going to crack on with Before the Devil Breaks You and see how I get on with that, because I've never actually read any of the Diviner's books with my eyes. It's all been audiobook. And I think it works a lot better on audiobook because January Lavoie does like fantastic accents and voices, and it's really easy to tell like the huge cast apart. I'm just hoping I can carry those voices along in my own head when I read this now. I've got just about 100 pages left of Before the Devil Breaks You. There's a lot of sex in this book, and they're all like not adults yet. And I forget that young adult fiction does that sometimes, so that's weirding me out a little bit. But we're also like, everything's ramping up, the stakes are really going, and we're like tying up lots of loose ends that have been threaded through since book 1. I was interested to see why this was a 4-book series rather than a 3-book series, and while I think so far it could have been just 3 books because they are really long, this is like a 550 page book, and the first 2 are basically the same length, but if you the margins are like this small and the font is about the same size, so it's a lot of words, but the words themselves are quite easy to read. So I am flying through it. It really helps that I've listened to the audiobook because I can hear everyone's voices in my head, and I don't naturally know how people sounded in the 1920s, like slang-wise. And you know how if you hear someone say it, it makes more sense than just reading the words on the page, because I would just take them very literally and go, well, what do you mean you're Jake? What does that mean? So the audiobook has really helped. But I could not lie in that position with the cat on me any longer. I just needed to be vertical for a second. So I'm going to tidy up the kitchen a bit. I've got some fruit that needs chopping up so that I actually eat it, because if it's prepared, I will just take it out the fridge, as opposed to the watermelon that has been sat on the side for a week now that just needs to be butchered. And I'm going to make myself a little snack, and we'll go right back at it because I'm still in the mood to read, so I'm just going to write that. And I think finishing those books will probably be the easiest part of this challenge, because we're only at 1 o'clock-ish, literally 3 minutes past 1 in the afternoon. And I reckon I'll have finished Before the Devil Breaks You in another hour, maybe. Library at Mount Char, I'm only 100 pages in, and it is a 500-page book. I'm guessing. It looks about 500 pages. It's going to be the writing that gets me. So I think I will tidy the kitchen, have a little snack, finish my book, and then I'll do some more writing, because that's going to be the hard bit. So we're gonna intersperse some writing with the reading and go from there. Though to be fair, I'm not used to writing during the day. I mostly write at night because I like the atmosphere. But beggars can't be choosers when we're doing challenges. So let's crack on with some kitchen-y stuff. Have a time lapse or however I'm going to edit this. I did it. I finished it. She's such a good writer. Like, she's just such a good writer. The amount of moving pieces that it takes to keep a book like this going is so unbelievably impressive, and she just pulls it off so cleverly. Incoming spoilers for the 3rd act of Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, the dragon can go fuck itself. I hate it. I didn't know that was a thing when I played it the first time, and I hate it. I hate it a lot. Yeah. George has said that if I get to 2,113 words today, we can order takeout. So I'm going to crack on with that. I'm up to 1,250-ish so far. So let's crack on and see what we do. Did it. Takeaway for tea tonight. I'm on 2,147 words. I'm going to see if I can get to 2,500 before George gets home. And then that's my minimum done. And then I'll probably go back to reading and just see how many words I can get on top of that minimum. I'm not feeling like 5,000 words is like in the cards, but I'm also very pleased that I've gotten over 2,000 because that hasn't happened for a while. A success. Either way, I think. And the cat is asleep and has left me alone the entire time. So fantastic. Yes, lovely. I am pleased. Right, my dudes, it has been 24 hours. Thank you for coming along with me. Our grand report, as it were, is I have hit 7,500 words on my first draft, which is fabulous because I was at 5. So that's my bare minimum words hit that I wanted to hit. I finished 3 books. I finished, can't remember the names, Golden Enclaves, Persepolis, and Before the Devil Breaks You. And I loved all of them, which was fantastic and a very nice feeling. And I think I may have cured my reading slump. And I have got halfway through the library at Mount Char as well. So I'm pleased with that. Didn't finish it, but that's okay. I had a lot of pages to get through and I left it till last. Overall, I would say this was a success and I actually enjoyed it and didn't get sick of reading. So that's a nice thing. I am way behind on filming videos and stuff. So I'm going to get on that. I'm very happy to be on holiday. I'm very happy to be reading again. And it's my birthday next week, so I get to buy loads of books. I mean, who could ask for more? See you next Sunday.